Welcome to the what's the date? The January 11th. Yeah, I got it right for once. January 11th video submission for Oliver Scott and movies. I'm going to start with reading a private message I got from Mika1280. Reads, "Hi Oliver, I've forgotten to ask you about Oliver Twist, 2005 version. I'm curious to find out what you thought about it. Thought of it. It was crap. Funnily enough, the other day I searched for reviews on Oliver Twist, and many of them weren't that positive, thank goodness, because I don't want to be the only one who thought that movie was crap. I found a couple of positive reviews, a couple of idiots. No, I'm just kidding. But it seems those were in the minority. Some mentioned, what was the point of remaking Oliver Twist again? I don't realize Oliver Twist had so many versions. Sorry, didn't realize Oliver Twist had so many versions. That was one of the reasons I thought the film was so bad. It was like the musical version without the music, and it was like mediocre as well, really mediocre in its acting. Ben Kingsley as Fagin was rubbish. I mean, it was just like really not anything special in the slightest. Nor was anything else particularly. I know it's Charles Dickens and you're supposed to ham it up a bit, but I just wasn't in the mood. If you're gonna do that, then do the songs. You know why? Ugh. So anyway, the original Oliver is much better, that being the Oliver in the 60s where you have the kid who's also in Black Beauty and you have great songs. Yeah, go for that. I enjoyed the 2005 version. I had never seen any of the other versions and never read the book, so I had no clue of the plot and the story throughout the movie. I really cared about what would happen to the characters. Maybe that's why you liked it. I, of course, am too familiar with Oliver Twist. We did it at school. It's really big. It's a big deal, basically. At least in this country, I don't. I think that if someone goes into a movie having seen other versions of it, they probably expect a bit more every time, and perhaps, or something different at least, or perhaps Roman Polanski made a good version of it. No, he didn't. It was really mediocre, I thought. But maybe not as good as any of the others. Well, certainly, I've seen way superior versions. I saw a better version on television, and, if it's made for television, really shouldn't be upstaging one that I assume, got some sort of release. Quickly, I just have to mention Into the Wild, the fantastic movie. There's so many wonderful quotes and so many great lessons to learn from it that I don't know how to describe it. Emile Hirsch was great in it, yes. The times when his sister, Gina Malone, was describing what she felt as time went on after his disappearance were amazing. Not to mention the awesome supporting roles, including Catherine Keener, Marcia Gay Harden, and others. Yes, William Hurt as well. The parents were brilliant. I loved that. What got me was the end scene when he's essentially imagining returning home, and then there's a reunion with those three, and it's like you get the tear running down Marsha's face. I mean, that really hit me. So did the end, of course. Yeah, it pulled a few cliches, but still, I think this film was more deserving than 3 stars. Really should have been given 4 to 5 stars. I really liked it too. Yeah, okay, it has a few cliches. It doesn't matter. What it does well, it does so well enough that, it's good stuff. Great soundtrack by Eddie Vedder as well. Okay, moving along. You gotta check out Game Boys by Brad Jones. Yes, the guy who, the cinema snob, did a movie, and a full-length movie, his 4th one. He did 3, thrillers. I tried watching one of them, Midnight Heat, and something went really wrong with the audio, so that the music kept drowning out all the dialogue, basically. I still was able to enjoy, well done, for what it was, artistic quality. For example, the playing of Iran by a Flock of Seagulls, while it showed the characters sort of struggling to cope and maintain his I have a word I wrote down for that, equanimity. Yeah, I just learned that word today. Was really neat. Again, though, the film, I don't know exactly what happened. Maybe that's a question for Brad. But Game Boys was compatible with YouTube. So that's a lot of fun. I can't believe, the early parts have 350 or so views. The later parts have just over 100. This should be against the law. I can't fathom why Cinema Snob fans haven't checked this film out, and haven't made it through it. Yeah, okay. If you're used to really big budgeted movies then okay, it might be a bit of an adjustment, sort of seeing a movie shot on, a standard portable camera. But for goodness sake, adjust to it and and just watch it. It's. I think my favorite parts were, because, oh man, How to Beat Video Games Custer's Revenge. I just was fortunate enough to have seen on YouTube, in fact, the How to Beat Video Games segments. So it was good being familiar with that. But and when the guy also goes to buy Custer's Revenge and he tries to get it at the store and they beat him up, that was hilarious. Really written like a pro. Yeah, I mean, he gets it. Brad Jones gets it. I'm surprised his scripts haven't been picked up by major movie corporations, but oh well. So yeah, speaking of the Cinema Snob, I introduced the Cinema Snob to Rob, Sarcastic Venom, and Rob introduced to me Nostalgia Critic. I have to thank you for that. That's brilliant. I have a lot of fun with Nostalgia Critic. Right, sorry, reverting back to the Cinema Snob and Game Boys. Yeah, this is really interesting because it turns out Brad Jones also now has a huge collection of video games. The question has to be, is he going to branch out? I know it may not be appropriate for the Cinema Snob to do video games, but, well, who cares? I mean, it would be interesting to see him branch out and do video games, because I'm sort of sick and tired of the angry video game nerd. Like, I think when he beat the crap out of Bugs Bunny, that was a lot of fun. Apart from that, I've grown tired of his repetition. Like, when you watch an angry video game nerd video, you pretty much expect him to say, I would rather this, that, and go off, and it's too repetitive, really. He hasn't exactly recycled his... It's fine using the same formula. In fact, the Cinema Snob does that, but he recycles it much better. So, yeah, Nostalgia Critic and Cinema Snob right now are the guys, but there's no one... I don't get to watch any... Well, I do. I have the opportunity to, but I'd rather not watch sort of what I would consider subpar to, just quite good video game reviews, where you completely crap on the bad product of a video game, so I don't have that option anymore. So that's why... Another reason I'd like to see Brad Jones branch out into video games. So anyway, he's got in the works a film where Bruce Lee, a Bruce Lee exploitation flick where Bruce Lee dies, goes to hell, and has to fight James Bond and some other characters. I can't wait for that. I'll let you... Oh, man. Okay, let me... After Prehistoric Women, and I'm going to try and keep making my videos better. So my third sort of rip-off, because it is, I'll admit it, it's a rip-off of... It's inspired very much by Cinema Snob to do these things. But after Prehistoric Women, the next one will be this. Oh my god. This film... No, sincerely, I loved Prehistoric Women. This, oh, no. It's horrible. It's so bad that, while I'm thinking of stuff to do in my review for it, having to actually watch it is painful. Ugh. So finally, Ginger Snaps. This is a great franchise, werewolf franchise in Canadian. Interestingly enough, in the first film, it sort of starts out more goofy. Emily Perkins, I think... I'm not sure who is who, Catherine Isabel and Emily Perkins. I think Emily Perkins was the girl in Freddy vs. Jason. Please forget about what you saw in that film of her. In that, she's really good, as is just about everyone in these films. In this film, like the mother, it's like a horror film, but then there's a really actually seriously good scene with the mother, which kind of gets a bit emotional. The sequel, the werewolf infected girl goes to an asylum. You think that it's going to be one of those films with a load of sort of typical cliched B-movie characters who are going to get killed off, but surprisingly, just one character escapes from the asylum with her, and we focus on their relationship, and we have very strong characters going. And finally, Ginger Snaps back the beginning, which really is not the beginning. It's essentially acting as if Ginger Snaps 1 and 2 never existed. Even more strange, it takes the film's two stars, just places them in 19th century Canada, and that's kind of how it comes across. It's like they are time displaced, especially when she says, these people are fucked. No, I don't think that would be uttered by people of the 19th century, but either way, if you can just get over that, there's a tendency to harp on nitpick and because it's fun. But no, this is another very good offering from the series. I liked how well it worked. I actually bought the film and got into the franchise because Tom McCamus was in it, and Tom McCamus definitely didn't disappoint. He played an excellent role of a character who had his son was a werewolf and was transforming and progressively becoming a werewolf, and he was hiding his son for emotional reasons, and sort of a challenging role. McCamus pulled it off brilliantly. Um, Interestingly enough, the sequels or the films made after the original actually get more serious. Usually, sequels get less serious and more goofy. Reverse trend in this franchise. What can I say in my last 5 seconds? I'll leave it at that. Peace out.